He's Will Masisak.
She's Emily Lutzker.
And this is
the Aceys Artist Choice Awards podcast.
So, the 2016 Aceys Film Awards recognize nominees voted on by our 1,200 plus artistic voting members. Artists, musicians, writers, actors, dancers, and more. Tonight, we reveal the winners as chosen by that community of artists.
To start us off, from Miami, Florida, please welcome choreographer and dancer Anna Baumgarten.
The nominees in the next category have a job that is as easy as falling down a flight of stairs, over and over again. And if it goes well, and you survive that, tomorrow we'll hit you with the car and set you on fire. Break a leg. The nominees for Outstanding Stunt Ensemble are Everest, Jamie Edgell. Furious 7, Spiro Ratsatos. Mad Max Fury Road, Guy Norris. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, Wade Eastwood. The Revenant, Scott J. Attia. Sicario, Keith Willard. And the AC goes to Guy Norris, Mad Max Fury Road. Congratulations and soft landings.
From Fairfax, Virginia, actor, playwright, and rising star of musical theater, Marlena Horowitz.
The downside of celebrity is that sometimes it outshines talent. The performers in this category might be new rising stars. They might not be the right color or gender or age or have the right look that we have come to call the establishment. Lucky for us, these artists are the future of what real diversity means. Embracing each other for our differences and not despite them. The nominees for Best Performance by a New or Overlooked Talent are Abraham Atta, Beasts of No Nation. Idris Elba, Beasts of No Nation. Domhnall Gleeson, Ex Machina. Michael B. Jordan, Creed. Jason Mitchell, Straight Outta Compton. Daisy Ridley, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Kitana Kiki Rodriguez, Tangerine. Alison Tsai, Mediterranean. Lily Tomlin, Grandma. Meg Whitman, The Dove.
Look, I didn't mean it like that. You're the one who's approachable.
Jacob Tremblay, Room. And the AC goes to Michael B. Jordan for Creed. Way to go!
Here to announce the nominees for Best Performance by an Ensemble are Emily Lutzker and Will Masisak.
This category celebrates true collaboration. It's the magic of the synergy of a group of actors working together to suspend our disbelief.
The sum of the performances of a great ensemble are much bigger than their parts.
Do we need to prove that to Larry Flint?
It was figurative, darling.
Well, the nominees for Best Performance by an Ensemble are Beasts of No Nation,
The Big Short,
Carol,
Hateful Eight,
Spotlight,
Tangerine. And the AC goes to
Hateful Eight.
Congratulations! Yay! Acting is reacting. It's a dance between skilled partners or a group who make each other's performances ring true. A supporting role might be a pivotal part that is as important to the film as anything. Seriously, what would a story be without supporting actors?
Well, there was Castaway, unless you want to count Wilson, which I'm not going to count. And no, Wrecked with Adrian Brody, where he was stuck in the car and he did the thing and the. Well, all right, those are exceptions.
Right. The nominees for Best Performance in a Supporting Role are Christian Bale, The Big Short.
Idris Elba, Beasts of No Nation. Louis C.K., Trumbo.
Benicio del Toro, Sicario.
Paul Giamatti, Straight Outta Compton.
Tom Hardy, The Revenant.
Oscar Isaac, Ex Machina.
Rooney Mara, Carol.
Mark Ruffalo, Spotlight.
Kate Winslet, Steve Jobs.
And the AC goes to
Oscar Isaac for Ex Machina.
Oscar won the AC. Excellent.
From Reykjavik, Iceland, fashion and accessories designer Aaron C. Bullion.
When you tell someone about a movie, their first question will invariably be, who's in it? Lead actors are not only in it, the entire film depends on them getting you to believe in them. If it takes working on freezing glaciers, or in burning deserts, or even in Compton at night, they'll do it. The nominees for Best Performance in a Major Role are Abraham Atta, Beasts of No Nation, Kate Blanchett, Carol, Kate Blanchett, Truth, Steve Carell, The Big Short, Leonardo DiCaprio, The Revenant, Brie Larson, Room, Jason Mitchell, Straight Outta Compton, Will Smith, Concussion, Alicia Vikander, The Danish Girl, Alicia Vikander, Ex Machina, and the AC goes to Kate Blanchett, Carol. Congratulations.
Here again is Will Masisak.
Quiet on the set, shouts the assistant director before the action begins. That's not because the crew is goofing off, but because recording dialogue for a film with the gaffer telling dirty jokes in the background makes every movie a disaster movie. So who are the mysterious and notoriously grumpy people on set and in the studio who record the sound that make up half the movie experience? In this case, they are the nominees for Excellence in Sound Recording. Jeff Maxwell for Carol. Vincent Shelley and Tom Curley for Grandma. Mark Ulano for Hateful Eight. Ben Osmo, Derek Mansfeld, and Chris Ward for Mad Max Fury Road. Stuart Wilson, Amanda Beggs, Nikita Budash, Ryan Cole, Steve Morris, Jonathan Null, Owen Spencer, and Tim White for Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. And the AC goes to Mad Max Fury Road, Ben Osmo, Derek Mansfeld, and Chris Ward. Good on ya, you Aussie folk.
Once again, Emily Lutzker and Will Masisak.
Sound design and mix. These master technicians build layers of noise and make sure you can hear everything that happens on screen.
Is there something wrong with your mic, or are you making a point?
I don't even have a mic. That's how good they are.
Okay. The nominees for Excellence in Sound Design and Mix are
Kingsman, The Secret Service, Wayne Lemmer, Danny Sheehan, Martin Cantwell, and Matthew Collins.
The Look of Silence, Hendrik Gamov and Martin Lind.
Mad Max Fury Road, Mark Mangini, Chuck Michael, Julian Slater, and David White.
Sicario, Alan Robert Murray, Tom Ozanich, and William Sorokin.
Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, David Accord, Ben Burt, Will Files, Gary Rydstrom, Robert Stambler, Matthew Wood, Andy Nelson, and Tom Lally.
What you started.
What Happened, Miss Simone?
Brilliant.
Daniel Timmons and Tony Vallant.
And the AC goes to
Mad Max Fury Road, Mark Mangini, Chuck Michael, Julian Slater, and David White.
Here, here. Get it?
Yeah, we got it. Here, here.
Here again to announce the nominees for Excellence in Music Score and Original Song, it's Emily Lutzker and Will Masisak.
Will, if my life were a movie, What music score would you use?
Maybe songs from a rock band, the fully orchestrated underplay of a symphonic spaghetti western, songs for an elaborate Hindi wedding, or perhaps a pop masterpiece.
I think more like a theremin.
Yes, well, all of these possibilities fall under the potential of original music that makes good movies great.
The nominees for excellence in music score or original song are
Beasts of No Nation, Dan Romer.
The End of the Tour, Danny Elfman.
Hateful Eight, Ennio Morricone.
Kingsman, The Secret Service, Henry Jackman and Matthew Margeson.
People, Places, Things, Mark Orton.
Flashlight, Pitch Perfect 2, Sia Furler, Christian Guzman, Jason Moore, and Sam Smith.
Chil Kai Naina from NH10, Rakesh Kumar, Sanjeev Rathod, and Darshan Rathod.
And the AC goes to... Drumroll, please.
Hateful Eight,
Hateful Eight.
Ennio Morricone.
Congratulazione!
Molto complimenti.
From France to New York, here is guitarist and composer Rudolf Vernaz Kolas.
From the use of nostalgic 50s songs in American Graffiti to the ironic use of obscure surf guitar records in Pulp Fiction, to Royal Tenenbaum being written completely for the purpose of connecting two songs by German chanteuse Nico, the music soundtrack can offer some of the most lasting impressions on screen. The nominees for excellence in music soundtrack are Amy, Chirac, Dope,
I play in a punk band with my friends.
The Hateful Eight, Minions, Sicario, Straight Outta Compton, and What Happened with Simone. And the AC goes to Straight Outta Compton. Congratulations.
From New Canaan, Connecticut, accidental artist, purposeful art collector, film producer, and friend to the arts, Jolene Grusing.
The production designers and art directors take the ideas on the script pages and bring those abstracts into actual sets and visual concepts for the film, the look. It might be something overly specific like, can you make a Starbucks sign, but it can't say Starbucks, so maybe it says $7 coffee? Or perhaps a director says, can you make it more Saturn, or more Coltrane, or more cowbell? These nominees work tireless hours at a job that never ends and play an enormous role in making us believe the make-believe. The nominees for excellence in production design and art direction are The Assassin, Wen Ying Huang, Beasts of No Nation, Inbal Weinberg, Brooklyn, Francois Seguin, Carol, Judy Becker, Ex Machina, Mark Digby, The Hateful Eight, Yohei Taneda, The Revenant, Jack Fisk, Tomorrowland, Scott Chambliss. And the AC goes to Ex Machina, Mark Digby. Congratulations.
From the movie 20 Million People, here are Michael Farrell and Devin Sanchez.
When you write a script, you assume everybody will be wearing something.
Well, I don't.
Maybe not for the kind of films you watch, but these nominees actually have to design and outfit every person on screen in every shot of the movie, even if they're wearing their birthday suit.
Now wait, how does that work?
On top of that, they're asked, oh, and can you make them beautiful, awkward, futuristic, like 1950?
The nominees for excellence in costume design and wardrobe are
Beasts of No Nation, Jenny Egan. Brooklyn, Odile Dix Moreau. Carol, Sandy Powell. Chirac, Ruth E. Carter. The Dressmaker, Marion Boyce and Margot Wilson. Mad Max Fury Road, Jenny Beavan. Slow Learners, Rita Scattiera.
And the AC goes to Jenny Beavan for Mad Max Fury Road. Go you and your flaming skull moto jacket.
From Minneapolis, here is humorist and spoken word artist Thaedra Sheridan.
The art of hair and makeup is about identity. From a transgender artist in the 1920s to modern-day vampires. From socialites in the 1950s to a Greek comedy revived in gang-ridden Chicago, putting an actor's best or worst or weirdest face forward is a craft that takes mastery. These artists practice that mastery every day. They rightfully earn our respect by making folks look good, literally, or making them look like a monster, or an Ewok, or as if they've been mauled by a bear. The nominees for excellence in hair and makeup are Carol, Jerry DiCarlo and Patricia Reagan. Chirac, Susie Ostos and Cheryl Pickenbach. The Danish Girl, Carmel Jackson. The Revenant, Sharon Toohey and Robert Pandini. What We Do in the Shadows, Danelle Satherley, Roger Murray, and Don Brooker. And the AC goes to The Revenant, Sharon Toohey and Robert Pandini.
And now introducing musician and songwriter, young Mr. Oscar Morris.
Cheers from Bray, Ireland. Movie stories are all about using your imagination. Sometimes I need tricks and computer effects to fool you into thinking it's real. These movies fooled you the best. The nominees for Best Analog or Digital Effects are Ant-Man, Daniel Sudik, Dinesh K. Bishnoi, and John Capleton. Ex Machina, John Lockwood, Andrew Whitehurst, and Richard Conway. Mad Max Fury Road, Dan Oliver, Andy Williams, Andrew Jackson, David Nelson, and Catherine Rodsbrooks. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Chris Corbould, Ben Morris, and Michael Mulholland. Tomorrowland, Mike Vezina, Hussein Kaner, Craig Hammack, John Knoll, and Eddie Pasquarello. And the AC goes to Mad Max Fury Road, Dan Oliver, Andy Williams, Andrew Jackson, David Nelson, and Catherine Rodsbrooks. Congratulations, even though I'm not old enough to go see it. I'm sure it was great.
Writer, producer, director, Natasha Rivera.
Dragging your outrageously expensive camera, lenses, and crew through wilderness, the Arctic, months in the desert, and inside the boxing ring, or just walking through the seedy parts of Los Angeles with an iPhone 5 is challenge enough. Doing all of that, doing it safely and under budget to get the amazing shot, that is basically every day for these cinematographers and their teams. The nominees for Excellence in Cinematic Technical Achievement are Creed, Maurice Alberti. Ex Machina, Rob Hardy. It Follows, Michael Jalakis. Mad Max Fury Road, John Seal. The Revenant, Emmanuel Lubisky. Sicario, Roger Deakins. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Daniel Mindell. Tangerine, Radium Chung. Victoria, Sturla Brandt Groovlin. And the AC goes to Mad Max Fury Road, John Seal. Congratulations.
From Columbia via New York City, here are actor Carolina Ravassa and musician Gregorio Uribe.
Albert Einstein once said, "The pursuit of truth and beauty is a sphere of activity in which we are permitted to remain children all our lives." Creating cinematic beauty requires no big budgets or fancy techniques. It only requires skills in perception and imagination.
Well, fancy cameras help.
But it is the eye behind the camera that has the power to enchant us, to have us catch our breath and get back some childlike wonder.
The nominees for excellence in cinematic beauty are
Ping Bin Lee, The Assassin.
Kari Joji Fukunaga, Beasts of No Nation.
Edward Lockman, Carol.
Rob Hardy, Ex Machina.
Robert Richardson, The Hateful Eight.
John Seal, Mad Max, Fury Road.
Emmanuel Lubezki, The Revenant.
And Roger Deakins, Sicario.
And the AC goes to John Seal, Mad Max, Fury Road.
Felicitaciones para John Seal.
Once again, Emily Lutzker and Will Masisak.
There are a lot of people who dream of making a movie and seeing their vision become reality up on the big screen. It all sounds great, right?
But the reality of the job, as first-time directors get to experience, is that it's like being ripped apart by carnivores.
We're wrangling cats.
And if you're lucky, you get to do it again tomorrow. Yes, well, the nominees for excellence in directorial debut are Jennifer Pung for Advantageous, Alex Garland for Ex Machina, Sophie Hyde for 52 Tuesdays, Jonas Carpignano, Mediterranean, Denise Gamze Urwin, Mustang, Chloe Zhao, Songs My Brothers Taught Me. And the AC goes to Alex Garland, Ex Machina. Well done. Live via satellite from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, film and television actor Nakia Dillard.
If you're not a film industry insider, even getting the opportunity to make a film that gets seen by more than your friends and family is hard to come by. On top of that, it is even harder if you are a woman, a person of color, or God forbid, a woman of color. Here are the Aceys. We want to recognize some of the finest directing work of the year in movies you may not have heard about, or by directors who had the determination and passion to get their wonderful films made. The nominees for excellence in direction, overlooked, or alternative are Advantageous, Jennifer Fang. Beast of No Nation, Kari Fukunaga. Dope, Rick Famuyiwa. Finding Hope, Julian Grant. Heart of a Dog, Laurie Anderson. It Follows, David Robert Mitchell. Cesario, Dennis Villeneuve. Spring, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. Stuff, Suzanne Guacci. Tangerine, Sean Baker. Taxi Terroring, Jafar Panahi. And the AC goes to Beast of No Nation, Kari Fukunaga. Congratulations.
From the Bronx, writer, producer, director Natasha Rivera.
The director of a film is the one who is ultimately responsible for the creative vision and taking that vision and turning it into a product for the world to see. It is one of the leadership positions in filmmaking and the one responsible for putting all the artistic pieces together. And more of them should be women and people of color. And the nominees for Best Director are Beast of No Nation, Kari Fukunaga. The Big Short, Adam McKay. Carol, Todd Haynes. Creed, Ryan Coogler. Ex Machina, Alex Garland. The Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino. Mad Max Fury Road, George Miller. Mustang, Denise Gamze Urwin. The Revenant, Alejandro Iñárritu. Sicario, Denis Villeneuve. Spotlight, Tom McCarthy. And the AC goes to George Miller. Mad Max Fury Road,
Once again, Emily Lutzker and Will Masisak.
Some people make movies that stay with us and become our friends and our dreams. Some of these filmmakers are dedicated to this for a lifetime.
Their contributions become a legacy that informs every filmmaker who follows. We recognize some of the influential and memorable people in our lives.
The nominees for Lifetime Achievement in Film are: Danny Boyle is a director of unique storytelling perspective, as in Trainspotting and Oscar winner Slumdog Millionaire.
Tim Burton is the dark and fanciful writer-director of the iconic Edward Scissorhands and Nightmare Before Christmas. He's also the director of Beetlejuice and Batman, among many others.
Joan Chen is a pioneering spirit, known for her acting work in The Last Emperor and an almost unprecedented move into directing and producing with films like Autumn in New York.
The Coen brothers, Ethan and Joel Coen, are writing, directing, producing partners who finish each other's sentences and who gave us classic films and classic quotes. It tied the whole room together. And it's my deal, Wade, my deal.
Doris Day personified the girl next door of mid-century America. From musical ingenue in the 1950s Tea for Two to shipwrecked and presumed dead hilarity ensues in 1963's Move Over, Darling, she had the singing voice to last forever and the acting chops to make us laugh.
Jean-Luc Godard is the radical voice of French New Wave, who changed the way we think of storytelling, paved the way for less established filmmakers to innovate, and was a direct influence on the filmmaking of half the names on this list.
For every chain-smoking, bottomless cup of coffee-drinking soul, there's a role model, and that role model is Jim Jarmusch. Jarmusch has been a major figure of independent cinema since the 1980s and paved the way for minuscule budgets and gigantic ideas for directors with distinctive vision.
Ron Howard traveled from freckled child actor to bad boy star of the original Grand Theft Auto to Oscar-winning producer-director for A Beautiful Mind. And he was the director of the first film I worked on.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet, because there should be some kind of an award for anyone who brought us both the dark comedy of Delicatessen and the surreal beauty in every rich frame of Amélie.
Alejandro Jodorowsky's greatest accomplishment was never put on screen. His brilliant envisioning of Dune was never made, but it directly influenced the look and feel of the future of science fiction films. He's still working at age 87, recently posting a Kickstarter fundraising video where he makes his case with the most impassioned defense of independent filmmaking you will ever see.
Kathleen Kennedy has had unprecedented success as a Hollywood film producer. E.T., The Color Purple, Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Jurassic Park, The Sixth Sense, Snow Falling on Cedars, Seabiscuit, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. The films she produced are like a history of Hollywood in the past 4 decades, and the influence she's had in telling stories with women and people of color in major roles has had a huge impact on the look of Hollywood.
Ranging from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon to Brokeback Mountain, Ang Lee has surprised audiences in the film industry, winning him a multitude of awards.
Please, baby, just let me smell it, said Spike Lee, and She's Gotta Have It, the first film I ever saw of his. From that moment in the 1980s to his recent retelling of an ancient Greek drama in Chirac, he has made a distinctive impression on audiences.
Steven Spielberg is the most famous director in American history, and he got his start by getting off the Universal Studios tour and squatting in an unoccupied office, pretending to be somebody important. Then came Jaws, E.T., and the rest is history. And the 2016 Artist's Choice Lifetime Achievement Acey goes to
Ethan and Joel Coen.
The Coen brothers. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Once again, Emily Lutzker.
We hear it said over and over again that ideas are worthless. Well, I say that ideas are priceless. An inspired idea, one that moves us, is the core jumping-off point for any good work of art. So we ask the question, what films of 2015 began with an inspired concept? The nominees for Best Original Film Concept or Story are Chirac, Ex Machina, 52 Tuesdays, Heart of a Dog, The Hateful Eight, Inside Out, It Follows, Mad Max Fury Road, The Mend, Tangerine, Taxi Tehran. And the AC goes to Ex Machina for Best Original Film Concept. Here again, Marlena Horowitz.
When your favorite book gets turned into a movie, you either run to the theater or avoid seeing the film altogether. Unless it's To Kill a Mockingbird or The Princess Bride. Personally, I like both the book and the movie of The Hunger Games. It's a unique talent to turn a book or a short story into a movie. The nominees for Best Screenplay adaptation of a work of fiction or nonfiction are Ant-Man, Edgar Wright, Joe Cornish, Adam McKay, and Paul Rudd. Beasts of No Nation, Cary Fukunaga. The Big Short, Charles Randolph and Adam McKay. Black Mass, Mark Malek and Jez Butterworth. Carol, Phyllis Nagy. Embrace of the Serpent, Sergio Guerrera and Theodor Cruz Grudenberg. End of the Tour, Donald Margulis. The Martian, Drew Goddard. Room, Emma Donoghue. Spotlight, Josh Singer and Tom McCarthy. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Lawrence Kasdan, J.J. Abrams, and Michael Arndt. And the AC goes to The Big Short, Charles Randolph and Adam McKay. Good job.
Please welcome writer and musician Keith Marks.
So I gave my mother a copy of a screenplay once, and she's like, Keith, I can't read this. Reading a script might be difficult, but writing one from scratch, I mean, it takes imagination and a deep understanding of how people behave together, and especially when they're alone. You know, like what stalkers do. The nominees for Best Original Screenplay are Ex Machina, Alex Garland. Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino. Inside Out, Meg LaFave, Josh Cooley, and Pete Docter. Mustang, Denise Gamze-Eryuen. Results, Andrew Bojalski. Spotlight, Josh Singer and Tom McCarthy. Tangerine, Sean Baker and Chris Bergosh. And the AC goes to Alex Garland, Ex Machina. Talk about Beauty and the Beast. She's both. Congratulations.
Here now, Emily Lutzker.
The editor of a documentary has almost as much power in crafting the story as the director. Often, they're handed years of footage in multiple film and video formats and somehow make a movie out of it. That is no small feat. The nominees for excellence in documentary editing are Amy, Chris King, Heart of a Dog, Melody London and Catherine Nolfi. Listen to Me, Marlon, Stephen Riley. The Look of Silence, Nils Pag Anderson. The Russian Woodpecker, Chad Gracia and Devin Tancham. Terror, Jean-Philippe Boissicot, Nenev Laura Manier, and David Felix Sutcliffe. And the AC goes to It's a Tie. Melody London and Catherine Nolfi for Heart of a Dog, and Nils Paw Anderson for The Look of Silence. Both deserving.
After the script is written, the scenes acted and shot, the euphoria of wrapping the production phase quickly morphs into, OMG, how are we going to make a movie out of that? The nominees in this category managed to find their way out of the maze of multiple versions of what could have been and landed on the version that works best. The nominees for excellence in editing for narrative are Beasts of No Nation, Pete Boudreau and Mikkel E.G. Nielsen. The Big Short, Hank Corwin. Dope, Lee Hagen. The Hateful Eight, Fred Raskin. The Revenant, Stephen Maroney. Sicario, Joe Walker. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Marianne Brandon and Mary Jo Markey. And the Acey goes to Hank Corwin for The Big Short. Congrats. From Los Angeles, California, artist-photographer Lorena Turner and Lego architect Asher Sosowski.
From films about dogs,
Dogs in space, dogs and dying,
and films not about dogs at all,
like films about the darkness of revenge or the hopefulness of the future. These films represent experiments, poetry, and short story.
I am kind of a short story.
Yes, you are, Asher, but not for long. The nominees for Outstanding Film, Short or Experimental are Laika's Lullaby by Julia Oldham, Heart of a Dog, Laurie Anderson and Dan Janvey, World of Tomorrow, Don Hertzfeld, Dylan, Melissa Kelly and Steve Simmons, Damnation, The Flashback, Reno Dakota, Felicia Jameson, Ian McAlpin, and Bruce Praz. And the Acey goes to Laurie Anderson and Dan Janvey, Heart of a Dog.
Here are Michael Farrell and Devin Sanchez.
I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way, proclaimed Jessica Rabbit in the 1988 animated all-star toon movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. My God, I loved her.
Well, all of our animation nominees are not drawn anywhere close to bad. I would say they are even drawn pretty damn well. The nominations for Best Animated Film are
Anomalisa, Duke Johnson, Charlie Kaufman, Dino Stamatopoulos, and Rosa Tran. The Good Dinosaur, Denise Ream. Hotel Transylvania 2, Michelle Murdoka. Inside Out, Jonas Rivera. Shaun the Sheep, Paul Cooley and Julie Lockhart. World of Tomorrow, Don Hertzfeld.
And the Acey goes to Inside Out, Jonas Rivera, producer. Congratulations from our inner selves.
Once again, Emily Lutzker and Willa Masisak.
You're playing the straight man.
I can't play it straight. Okay. Creating good comedy is no laughing matter.
Start with the breath. Okay.
Creating good comedy is no laughing matter.
Just creating. Your New York accent betrayed you.
Creating.
Three
What's this? Creating. Creating good comedy is no laughing matter.
No, you're the straight guy. You're the professor.
Creating good comedy is no laughing matter. Although appreciated by the ancient Greeks as a necessary part of drama, it is often underappreciated as a form. But in order to make good comedy, it takes the heart and experience of many tragedies.
So you're saying one has to experience Dumb and Dumber 2 to fully appreciate Blazing Saddles?
Exactly my point. Those Greeks were smart people. The nominees for Outstanding Comedy Film are
Appropriate Behavior, Cecilia Frugel. Diary of a Teenage Girl, Miranda Bailey, Ann Carey, Bert Hamelink, and Madeline Samet. Dope, Nina Young Bon Jovi and Forrest Whitaker. Night Owls, Seth Goldsmith and Charles Hood. Slow Learners, Tommy Joyner, Jamie Lokoff, Brian O'Connor, and Tammy Teal Stedman. Spy, Peter Chernin, Paul Feig, Jessica Henderson, and Jenno Topping. Trainwreck, Judd Apatow and Barry Mendel. What We Do in the Shadows, Emmanuel Michael, Takia Waititi, and Chelsea Winstanley.
And the Acey goes to
It's another tie.
Dope, Nina Young Bon Jovi, and Forrest Whitaker.
And Trainwreck, the Wreck, And that's why marriage is a secret, buzzing.
Try it again, Wilbur.
And Trainwreck. Judd, just like this recording.
It's way well.
And Trainwreck. Judd Apatow and Barry Mendel. LOL.
LOL, what does that mean?
The era of the giant Hollywood musical extravaganza might have faded, but the marriage of music and the big screen takes multiple forms. From iconic Hindi Bollywood to the story of hip-hop legends to the celebrating of great singers and beautiful people gone too soon, music in the movies is alive and well. The nominees for Outstanding Film, Musical or Music Subject are Amy, James Gay Reeves; Pitch Perfect 2, Elizabeth Banks, Paul Brooks, and Max Handelman; Straight Outta Compton, Matt Alvarez, Scott Bernstein, Dr. Dre, F. Gary Gray, Ice Cube, and Tomika Woods Wright; Roy, Divya Khosla, Bhushan Kumar, and Krishan Kumar; What Happened, Miss Simone, Liz Garbus, Amy Hobby, Jason Jackson, and Justin Wilkes. And the AC goes to Straight Outta Compton, Matt Alvarez, Scott Bernstein, Dr. Dre, F. Gary Gray, Ice Cube, and Tomika Woods Wright, producers. Good work. Here is Emily Lutzker.
So-called high art and low art have become harder and harder to distinguish in the 21st century. We used to be able to recognize the avant-garde by its context. In film, this meant what kind of a theater the film was shown in and how big a budget there was to make it. This is no longer the case, and some films that previously would have been thought of as avant-garde or underground are just small-budget mainstream works. It's really confusing for old farts like me, but one factor to a film getting seen is still distribution. Sometimes films get released to a mass audience and sometimes to a neighborhood art house theater. Or even more often these days, they go directly to internet streaming. Even the ones that get seen by fewer people are still worth recognizing. The nominees for Outstanding Art House or Limited Release are Carol, Elizabeth Carlson, Tessa Ross, Christine Vachon, and Stephen Woolley. Diary of a Teenage Girl, Miranda Bailey, Anne Carey, Bert Hamelink, and Madeline Samet. Heart of a Dog, Laurie Anderson and Dan Janvey. I'll See You in My Dreams, Rebecca Green, Brett Haley, and Laura D. Smith. Listen to Me, Marlin, John Batsek, George Chignell, and R.J. Cutler. The Mend, Mina Joseph, John McGarry, and Michael Prowl. Mustang, Charles Gillibert. Son of Saul, Gabor Rajna and Gabor Sipos. Spring, Justin Benson, David Lawson Jr., Luca Legnani, and Aaron Moorhead. Tangerine, Sean Baker, Carrie Fox, Marcus Cox, Darren Dean, Shi Ching Sao. Taxi Tehran, Jafar Panahi. The Tribe, Miroslav Slabospitski and Valentin Vasinovich. What We Do in the Shadows, Emmanuel Michael, Taika Waititi, and Chelsea Winstanley. And the AC goes to Heart of a Dog, Laurie Anderson and Dan Janvey. Congratulations! From Brooklyn, New York, Emmy Award-winning producer Caitlin May Burke.
Every great documentary starts with a question. How am I going to pay my rent while I tell this story? Actually, the question can be anything from who's this musical genius to where did these Reservoir Dogs-looking guys come from? The great documentaries captivate us by answering these questions, or at least taking us on a journey while we try to find out. And the rent gets paid. Somehow. The nominees for Outstanding Film Documentary are Amy, James Gay Reese, Best of Enemies, Robert Gordon and Morgan Neville, The Birth of Saki, Misaka Samura, Cartel Land, Matthew Heineman and Tom Yellen, Crocodile Gennady, Danny Yord, Democrats, Heinrich Velborg, Heart of a Dog, Laurie Anderson and Dan Janvey, The Jinx, Andrew Jarecki and Mark Smerling, Listen to Me Marlin, John Batzik, George Kignall, and RJ Cutler, The Look of Silence, Signe Born Sorensen, The Russian Woodpecker, Ram Devaney and Mike Lerner, Terror, Larry Cabral, Christopher St. John, and David Felix Sutcliffe, What Happened, Miss Simone, Liz Garbus, Amy Hobby, Jason Jackson, and Justin Wilkes, The Wolf Pack, Hunter Gray, Crystal Mazel, Alex Orlovsky, and Isabella Senkova. And the AC goes to The Look of Silence, Signe Beard Sorensen.
Here's Will Masisak.
Cinema remains important. It still moves us in a way few things in our real world can.
The great films become a part of the story of our own lives, and we think about them in the way we think about friends, family, and lost love. These films represent the loves of our lives.
The nominees for Artistic Achievement in Film, our top prize, are
Advantageous, Robert M. Chong, Ken Young, Jacqueline Kim, and Moon Molson.
Beasts of No Nation, Idris Elba, Carrie Joy Fukunaga, Amy Kaufman, Reva Marker, and Daniela Taplin-Lundberg.
The Big Short, Dede Gardner, Jeremy Kleiner, Aaron Milken, and Brad Pitt.
Carol, Elizabeth Carlson, Tessa Ross, Christine Vachon, and Stephen Woolley.
The Hateful Eight, Richard N. Gladstein, Shannon McIntosh, and Stacey Scher.
The Revenant, Steve Golan, Arnon Milchan, Keith Redman, and James W. Scotchdouble.
Sicario, Basil Iwanek, Thad Luckenbill, Trent Luckenbill, and Molly Smith.
Songs My Brothers Taught Me,
Johnny?
Molly Asher, Nina Young Bon Jovi, Angela C. Lee, Forrest Whitaker, and Chloe Zhao.
Spotlight, Bly Pagan Faust, Steve Golan, Nicole Rocklin, and Michael Sugar.
Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams, Brian Burke, and Kathleen Kennedy.
Tangerine, Sean Baker, Carrie Fox, Marcus Cox, Darren Dean, Shishing Tsao.
Mustang, Charles Gillibrand.
The Russian Woodpecker, Ram Devaneny, and Mike Lerner.
And the Acey for Achievement in Film, the Film of the Year, goes to
Beasts of No Nation, Idris Elba, Carrie Joy Fukunaga, Amy Kaufman, Reva Marker, and Daniela Taplin-Lundberg.
Congratulations to our award winner.
Yay! Congratulations! Film of the Year!
That does it for the Aceys Film Awards for 2016. Thank you for listening, and congratulations to all the great films of 2015.
Thank you to all of our presenters, and to all of the artists of every species and stripe who nominated and voted. You made this possible.
Now go see some movies.
And I'll make the popcorn.
Yeah, you love it.
I love popcorn.
Who doesn't love it?
Everyone